The fire consumed the Tokyo office in minutes. 10 years of forensic accounting turning to ash in the heat.
I spent my entire career exposing fraud, and now I die in an office fire. Ironic.
When Shota opened his eyes again, the world was parchment, tallow smoke, and the distant clatter of official seals.
I am alive. This isn't Tokyo. Where am I?
At his belt hung a small abacus, a tool he hadn't touched since college. His fingers moved to it out of pure muscle memory. A lowly tally clerk's station awaited him. Soot-stained, piled with disordered scrolls, the Imperial Treasury's ledgers were single-entry nightmares. Every page a crypt of scribbled numbers with no accountability.
This is insane. No wonder they're hemorrhaging money. Someone's been skimming for years.
But he knew a better way. Double-entry bookkeeping, debits and credits, every coin traced to its source. A forensic accountant reborn as a mere clerk. But give him numbers, and he would unravel an empire's lies. He began by copying the Treasury's records in secret, lifting ledgers meant for destruction when the clerks turned their backs.
Single entry is a lie by omission. Every debit without a credit hides a theft.
By candlelight, he reconstructed the empire's finances in double columns, and the missing sums grew monstrous.
You are still here? A lowly tally clerk has no business burning midnight oil.
Merely organizing old records, overseer. A tidy archive is its own reward.
Grell's eyes darted to the neat columns, but numbers meant nothing to him. He only sensed a challenge to his authority.
I'll be watching. One misplaced figure. You'll wish you'd never left whatever backwaters spawned you.
Shota held his tongue until the overseer's footsteps faded, then let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. By the fourth night of secret work, a discrepancy froze his quill. 500 bushels of grain, paid from the treasury but never entered in any storehouse log.
Here is the first thread. Pull it, and this entire rotten tapestry might unravel.
The grain anomaly was only the first clue. Shota cross-referenced port logs, storehouse tallies, and military requisitions, searching for entries that never balanced. In the silent archive, a pattern emerged. Paid shipments whose cargo vanished before reaching any garrison or granary.
These aren't isolated thefts. This is a coordinated system, and it reaches the highest offices.
Names surfaced in the crooked ledgers. Lord Pelham, Minister of Grain, and General Thane, Commander of the Supply Corps.
If they discover what I know, I'll be dead by dawn. But silence means the Empire bleeds out.
So he did, the only thing possible. He built an audit trail so meticulous no denial could stand. Every missing coin, every phantom shipment, mapped in ink, backed by matching entries from separate sources.
I have the proof. But a clerk's word against a minister's seal. I need an audience with power to act.
The only path led to the palace, to reach the Emperor. He'd outmaneuver every lying official between the treasury and the throne.
The numbers don't lie. I'll make sure the Emperor hears them.
He spent 3 sleepless nights compiling a master ledger, a double-entry record that exposed the entire scheme. The evidence filled a leather satchel he kept hidden beneath a loose floorboard, a fortune in stolen wealth mapped in ink. He learned the Emperor held public audiences at noon, a window of direct access if he could slip past the administrative cordon.
Risking execution for a chance to speak truth. Not the retirement plan I imagined, but this second life owes the Empire honesty.
At dawn, he left the treasury for the last time, the satchel heavy against his hip. The palace gate loomed before him, guards in silver armor scanning the crowd.
If I am turned away, the satchel's contents will hang me. But if I am heard, the Empire changes.
He stepped into the petitioner's line, heart hammering, the abacus at his belt tapping against the satchel with each step. An Imperial guard stepped into his path, demanding his purpose.
I carry evidence of treason against the realm. I demand audience with His Majesty.
The guard escorted Shota to the throne room, a place no clerk had entered in living memory. Emperor Aldrich slumped on his throne, tired eyes sharp with the weight of an empty treasury.
Your Majesty, I have evidence your treasury is being bled dry by trusted men.
A clerk's word against my counsel. Speak fast, or your tongue will follow your head.
I rebuilt the ledgers using double entry. The missing sums point to Lord Pelham and General Thane.
I know of this method, but I need proof no lawyer can dismiss. You'll have a writ for the port and garrison. Fail to deliver irrefutable proof, and your life is mine.
Now the officials will be alerted. I am a marked man before I've even begun.
Shota stepped from the palace with a writ and a death sentence looming.
Cross-verification, my only shield against the blade.
3 days later, Shota stood before the full Imperial Council, his cross-referenced ledgers laid on the marble table.
Your Majesty, the port logs and storehouse tallies contradict every entry Lord Pelham submitted. The grain never reached its destinations.
Preposterous. This clerk has forged these documents to cover his own incompetence. He dares accuse a minister?
He is a spy planted to weaken the Empire's defenses. My supply corps is beyond reproach. This is treason.
Enough. I will have the truth, not this brawling.
The Emperor's gaze fell on Shota, his expression unreadable.
There will be a formal investigation. Until then, Shota will remain in custody for his own protection.
2 Imperial guards seized Shota's arms, pulling him from the chamber as Pelham's smirk cut through the shadow.
For my protection, or an invitation for a knife in the dark.
That night, his cell door locked behind him, and the Empire's real trial began. In the dark hours, a key turned in the lock of his cell. Shota's eyes snapped open, every instinct screaming.
This isn't an investigation. It's an execution.
A masked man lunged with a dagger. Shota swung his abacus. The metal frame deflected the blade with a shriek.
The abacus wasn't just for counting numbers. It was forged steel.
He drove the frame's sharp corner into the assassin's throat, then fled through the service corridors before the body was found. By dawn, he found Toma, the only clerk who'd ever questioned the Treasury's discrepancies.
Master Shota, I heard they arrested you. They say you are a traitor. What really happened?
I need the original port logs and storehouse copies. The cross-references will prove who's stealing from the Empire.
Toma, fearful but loyal, nodded and led him to a forgotten archive room in the old wing.
Now we build a case even the Emperor can't ignore, and hope we're not killed before it's heard.
Through the night, by a single candle's flicker, Shota's quill never stopped, his hands blurring over parchment.
Every phantom shipment, every missing coin, now linked to Pelham's and Thane's personal seals.
Master Shota, this is the entire grain supply for the northern garrisons. They never received even a sack.
And the payment ledger shows it was bought with treasury gold, gold that never left the ministry's private coffers.
You've built a trap so perfect, the numbers themselves will hang them.
If we fail now, we vanish. Toma, too. His life is on my ledger now.
By dawn, they had a single, irrefutable master document. Every alteration traced, every thief named.
The council holds a closed session at noon. If we can get inside, the Emperor will be forced to listen.
We'll go as scribes delivering archival records. The guards' ones won't question 2 more clerks with ink-stained hands.
The satchel of evidence went over his shoulder. The abacus, still stained from the assassin, hung at his hip. No turning back. Amid the council's drone, 2 cloaked clerks slipped in. One steady, one trembling. No guard looked twice.
Forgive the intrusion, Your Majesty, but the true treasury report cannot wait another hour.
You were confined. Speak quickly. What madness is this?
Here are the cross ledgers, matched against port and garrison records. Every missing shipment bears the seals of Lord Pelham and General Thane.
Faith forgeries. He's trying to... Those numbers can't be real.
But the council saw. The minister's own handwriting in the original logs matched the fraudulent entries perfectly.
This is a plot. Guards, Seize this impostor.
Silence. The seals are theirs. I recognize the ink. Lord Pelham, General Thane, you are both under arrest for high treason.
Guards wrenched the chains around Pelham's wrists as Thane's bellow turned to a strangled roar.
2 heads roll, but the rot goes deeper. Who else was feeding off the treasury?
After the guards dragged the traitors away, Emperor Aldrich led Shota to a private study, the silence heavy with unspoken questions.
You risked your life for this empire, but the corruption runs deeper than 2 ministers.
Give me full access to the ledgers, and I will expose every last conspirator.
Granted. Report directly to me. Find every stolen coin.
For weeks, Shota traced decades of graft by candlelight, his double-entry method exposing hidden accounts and falsified records. The treasury vaults began to refill with recovered gold, a decade of theft undone. The Emperor watched the coffers swell and began drafting a decree for a permanent financial reform. But in the council chambers, the nobles Shota had humiliated watched with simmering hatred.
Every correction I make spawns a new enemy. They will strike when I am unguarded.
The shadows around him thickened, but Shota knew the numbers never lied, and they would be his shield. In the Hall of 100 Banners, before the entire court, Emperor Aldrich rose from his throne.
For unmatched genius and nerve that saved an empire, I name you Master of Coin.
I will make every coin speak its truth. Your Majesty, no more shadows will hide.
A charter was unfurled, stamped with the imperial seal. Beside his name, the words Genius and IQ 190. Within a month, Shota's reforms rippled through every ministry, double-entry ledgers replacing centuries of chaos.
Resistance at every turn. But the numbers don't protect their old privileges.
In a dim parlor across the capital, noble shadows gathered. Among them, Lady Miriel, Pelham's sister, and Lord Malric.
This upstart clerk has hung our kin and stolen our fortunes. We will use his own system to destroy him.
Forge the ledgers. Plant them where his own audits will find them. Let his numbers become his noose.
The plot was sealed with a toast, and Shota, Master of Coin, never heard the glasses clink. That same night, Lady Miriel summoned a master forger, a man who owed his pardon to Pelham's gold.
Duplicate the Master of Coin's ledger strokes perfectly. Every mismatch must trace to his personal seal.
In a hidden workshop, the forger mixed inks and parchments to match Shota's exact quill strokes.
Every stroke must pass his own audits. The trap lies in the details. One misaligned figure, and we're exposed.
By week's end, a complete set of incriminating ledgers sat ready, a mirror image of his system, filled with fictitious thefts. A bribed cleaning servant slipped the ledgers into Shota's false bottom drawer, the very compartment he'd once used to hide evidence.
When the quarterly auditors find those books, his own hiding spot will condemn him.
Let him explain why the Master of Coin's own double-entry system reveals embezzlement.
The trap was set. Shota continued his reforms, unaware that his own ingenuity was about to be twisted into a weapon. In the parlor, Miriel and Malric raised another toast, this time to the imminent fall of the Empire's most dangerous clerk. A routine inspection turned lethal when a guard found the false bottom drawer. The forged ledgers spilled out like a confession.
Number that drawer was empty. This is a frame.
Before Shota could utter a defense, the guards seized him, binding his wrists with rough leather.
The ink will prove it. I have never seen these ledgers.
The Emperor was notified in grim silence. The law was clear, no matter his doubts.
Master of Coin, or no, the evidence demands a trial. Take him to the cells.
In a single hour, Shota fell from the highest office to a cold stone cell, the abacus stripped from his belt. From the gallery above the courtyard, Lady Miriel watched the guards drag him away, a slow smile curling her lips.
They used my own system to accuse me, Now I must use it to prove my innocence from a dungeon.
The key to his salvation lay buried in the very ledgers he had once hidden, if he could reach them before the trial. The guards left the forged ledgers in his cell, expecting despair. Instead, Shota bent over them with a scholar's hunger.
The ink is too fresh, no gall smell, and the parchment has no yellowing edges. Most damning, the entries don't balance. A double entry that doesn't reconcile is proof of fraud, not of theft. If I can show the court the original cross ledgers, these fakes will fall apart like wet parchment.
A guard's key turned. Toma slipped inside, his face pale and purse-light from bribery.
Master Shota, the trial is set for the day after tomorrow. The nobles are already celebrating.
Toma, you must retrieve the cross ledgers from the old archive, the ones we used to convict Pelham.
But the Imperial auditors sealed that room. Breaking the seal is a capital crime.
Then break it. My life and the truth of this empire hang on those pages.
Toma swallowed his fear and nodded. He would risk the noose for a chance at justice. That night, Toma crept through the sealed archive, his knife slicing through the wax that forbade entry. The cross ledgers, wrapped in the same oiled leather Shota had used, passed through the bars.
Every original entry matches my memory. These pages will unmask the frame before the entire court. Toma, go to the palace. Tell the Emperor I demand an open trial. My name cleared or my head taken.
Before dawn, Toma knelt at the Emperor's feet, voice trembling but clear. The Master of Coin demanded the light of justice.
So be it. A public trial at noon. Let the Empire witness the truth it was almost denied.
The news struck the conspirators like a gift. They raised their glasses in the gallery, victory already tasted.
Let the little clerk wave his numbers. Our forgery will pass any examination. He seals his own fate.
Every digit will be a witness. I just need to stay alive until the final column is read.
The courtroom seethed with hostile nobles, but Shota entered, chains and all, with the truth as his only weapon. Judge Fendrel's gavel silenced the hall as the prosecution held up the forged ledgers like a trophy.
They're presenting the forgeries as my own work. Perfect. Now I can dismantle them publicly.
The prosecutor read the incriminating entries aloud. Fictitious grain shipments and phantom payrolls, each met with gasps from the gallery.
Your Honor, I request the right to examine the ledgers myself. The court deserves more than recited accusations.
The accused may speak, but do not waste this court's time.
Shota flipped the forged pages with chained fingers, his eyes moving faster than the prosecutor's ire.
The ink on this entry is violet black, while the Imperial Ledger ink is iron gall brown, and the parchment lacks the watermarks of the Treasury's supply. These ledgers are forgeries, but I will prove it conclusively. I ask the court to summon the official cross ledgers from the Imperial Treasury.
He's bluffing. The cross ledgers will condemn him, not us.
Bring the Treasury's cross ledgers. I will see this comparison.
A court officer carried in the heavy, leather-bound cross ledgers, the Empire's true financial memory.
Your Honor, I will now demonstrate that these official ledgers and the so-called evidence cannot coexist.
Shota opened the cross ledgers side by side with the forgeries. His chained finger traced the columns.
The forged entry records, a debit of 800 gold for grain shipment with no corresponding credit. The true ledger shows both sides balanced. Proving the forgery is a mathematical impossibility.
Gasps rippled through the gallery. Lady Muriel's composure cracked.
Moreover, the ink and parchment in the forgeries match supplies traced to a workshop owned by Lord Malric. The receipts are in the Imperial tax records.
Lord Malric's face turned ashen. Lady Muriel rose abruptly, her chair scraping the stone.
This is a farce. Guards, arrest that liar.
Lady Muriel, Lord Malric, you are detained for conspiracy and perjury. Unshackle the Master of Coin.
The courtroom erupted as guards seized the nobles, and Shota's chains fell to the stone with a clatter. Judge Fendrel's gavel crashed for silence. The courtroom stilled, thick with sweat and drying ink. A hooded man, the forger, was led forward. His signed confession sealed the noble's fate.
I confess, Miriel planned it. We paid the forger from Pelham's vaults.
Silence. I ask no mercy from a court that honors a clerk over noble blood.
Lady Miriel, Lord Malric, for conspiracy and high treason, you are sentenced to death.
Shota, your name is cleared. Rise, Master of Coin. The Empire owes you more than titles.
This vindication secures Double Entry's future. No one will dare falsify again.
Guards hauled the condemned away, Miriel's curses fading. The gallery watched in stunned silence. Emperor Aldrich descended and offered his hand to Shota, a gesture never shown a commoner.
Let this trial be the last where numbers are doubted. The Empire's books will be as clear as its conscience.
At dawn, the executioner's blade fell upon the last of the conspirators, ending a dynasty of corruption that had bled the Empire dry. Emperor Aldrich ascended the grand balcony, his voice carrying over a silent, watching capital.
By imperial decree, double entry bookkeeping is now the law. Every ministry shall adopt the method of Master of Coin Shota.
Scribes began inscribing the edict on a great scroll, and the imperial seal was pressed into hot wax. In the treasury vaults, gold began to flow in like a river as the new system made theft impossible and trade transparent. Shota's charter was hung in the Hall of Records, the words Genius and IQ 100 and 90 eternally etched beside his name.
This is more than a title. It's an unbreakable promise to the people.
Merchants no longer feared false tariffs. Soldiers received their pay on time. The Empire's heart beat with honest gold. From the palace steps, Shota watched the sun rise over a city reborn by the power of balanced ledgers. The Master of Coin had not just saved a treasury, he had forged a legacy of truth. Shota's office became the Empire's financial heartbeat. Clerks rushed in with daily reports, and Toma managed the flow like a seasoned steward.
Master Shota, the northern trade routes are fully audited. No discrepancies. The merchants call it the Age of Clear Gold.
Every honest number builds trust. We're not just counting coins, Toma. We're building the Empire's future.
The treasury vaults groaned with gold, tax revenues doubled, and every coin was traced to its rightful purpose. On the war room map, trade routes stretched farther than ever, each line anchored by Shota's audited ledgers. In the capital, festivals erupted not for conquest, but for prosperity. The people's joy reflected in clean streets and full markets. Shota rarely attended the celebrations. He preferred the quiet of his office, where the ledgers whispered their silent truths.
In my old life, I died chasing numbers. In this life, numbers gave the people a future.
He touched the abacus at his belt, the same one that had deflected an assassin's blade, and felt a deep, unshakable peace. The Master of Coin had finished his work. The Empire, transparent and thriving, would endure beyond his lifetime. In the silence of his private office, Shota opened the window to the cool night air. The city below hummed with honest commerce. He looked at his hands, the same hands that once clawed at smoke, now steady and ink-stained. In the glass, his reflection held the same sharp amber eyes, but the desperation was gone. The abacus at his belt had not saved him. It had reminded him who he was.
I was reborn not to balance books, but to bring balance to a world that had forgotten it.
The flames of Tokyo were a closed ledger now, every debit balanced by a credit. A quiet smile touched his lips, the first unguarded smile since his death. He set the abacus on the desk, its beads resting exactly where they belonged. For the first time in 2 lives, he felt no need to prove anything. The Empire had its Master of Coin, and Shota had found his home. Leaving his office, Shota walked the silent corridors of the Imperial Palace, a last patrol before dawn. Inside the vast archive, rows of clerks worked by lamplight, their quills moving in disciplined harmony. Shota paused, watching a young apprentice, his brow furrowed in concentration, yet his hands steady. He moved to the great window, its glass framing a city that never slept, honest and thriving. The first light of sunrise painted the rooftops gold. Ships lifted into the sky above a bustling harbor. A breeze stirred the parchment on the nearest desk, carrying the scent of ink and new beginnings. Shota allowed himself a final, quiet smile. The numbers were at peace. He turned away from the window, leaving the clerks to carry forward the legacy of truth. And over the empire, the sun rose, clear, golden, and accountable. On his desk, the abacus rested beside a fresh inkwell, ready for the next honest day.